Hey everyone, this is Andrew here from iDownloadBlog with another video from WWDC. This slightly long video actually covers all of the new features inside of the Messages app in iOS 10. So apologies on the length, but there are so many new features, there's no other way about it. So let's get started. When you first open the Messages application, you'll notice we have this new arrow on the left-hand side of our keyboard. If we go ahead and tap that, we have three options: this camera icon, that heart icon, and an application icon. When you open the camera icon, it immediately opens up your front-facing camera as well as your camera roll, so you can take a photo super quick or use any of the photos that you've recently taken. If I actually choose one of those photos, however, we have a new option here which allows us to use Markup. Markup is featured in the Mail application in iOS 9, specifically like on the iPad. It's really nice to use the Apple Pencil, but here we can use it inside of the Messages app on the iPhone or iPad. I can draw, annotate, add a signature, add text. If I draw a circle, it'll actually correct it to a perfect circle. I can go ahead and change the size, color of all these things. So it's really great to either sign a document or to annotate any photos that you have, and then you can go ahead and send it on its way. So really great to not only edit photos in the messaging app, but annotate them now as well. So now we're going to go ahead and tap on the arrow on the left-hand side again, bringing up our three options. We looked at what the camera does, so now let's take a look at the heart with the two fingers. This is actually a feature ported over from the Apple Watch, and that's Digital Touch. First up, we can do sketches. So I can draw anything I'd like here, just a bunch of scribbles, and I can change the color. However, on the Apple Watch, it's very tiny. On the phone, you can actually make it full screen and have a lot more room to play with your drawings. On top of that, we have this new camera button. You can now take a photo or video and then scribble, annotate, draw, sketch on that video. So I'm going to respond back to Sebastian here that I don't know. So I'm going to take a puzzled picture, add some question marks over my head, and go ahead and add some text below that. Once I finish writing, all I have to do is send it and it'll animate that on his end as well. So now when I send, you'll even notice, even on my preview, you can see all those question marks and the text appearing below that. So it's really nice. Not only do they see the photo and the drawing, but they see the animation of you doing the drawing as well. Aside from those sketches, you can send a heart rate now over your iPhone. It's not a real heart rate, it's simply going to be an animation of a heart rate. And then you can send digital touches, which is just the little dot, the little taps. They'll give you the haptic feedback on the watch. So same as we had there, you can now do those here on the iPhone. So it looks like Sebastian sent me another message. Now, he also took a photo and added that drawing to it, but I'm going to come back to him in a second. So the next thing that we want to look at here is that third icon, which is app extensions. Now developers can create new extensions for the Messages app, and there are tons of applications that this could take form in. Right now there are only a few. There's Recents, there's classic Mac icons, there's music, so you can share music from here, and then just a basic image search. Now there's a lot of cool things you can do with these, but basically it's just another way to share things inside of the messaging app. Now they did show a few ideas of what you could do with this inside of the actual WWDC keynote. A few ideas that Apple had shared was maybe requesting money from someone. You could use Square Cash to ask someone for money and they could pay you or accept it right from within the messaging application. Or you could do a shared cart for takeout and be sending across that shared cart through Messages and allow everyone to add their order to that particular shared cart. Or one of the more fun ones was stickers. You can have a bunch of stickers in here, add them as images, or you can actually attach them to photos. So if Sebastian sent me a photo, I could actually tap on that and add a sticker to his photo. So let's go ahead and talk about emojis. Now right now there are no new emojis in iOS 10, and that's because those come from Unicode and not from Apple itself. Apple simply adopts their standard and designs their icons to go along with it. But there are a bunch of new features for emojis. For instance, if I type a sentence, I can actually see a highlighted word that could be replaced with an emoji. So if I see the word love, when I tap on the emoji keyboard, it emojifies that and gives me all those options that may count as love. So anytime you write a sentence, it'll simply highlight any ones that could be emojis, which is really neat. So back to Sebastian here. He sent me a picture of him. He's finally catching up on that keynote. Very busy today. So I can see Okay, that's his current status. That is awesome. I'm glad he's getting to finally sit down and enjoy that. So I want to let him know that that's great. And I could respond with a message, or if I 3D touch on that photo, I can send all these little quick replies, like a heart, a thumbs up, or haha, or an exclamation point. So many different options there, and it's really neat. It just attaches right to his message instead of sending it as a new message on my side. Next up, let's talk about QuickType. This is a little bit hard to demo because it gets better over time, but essentially it allows you to predict what you're going to say. Now Apple's going to be making this a lot better, but what's really cool is it'll actually now work in 2 different languages. So if I'm going back and forth and between English and Spanish, it'll understand all of those words and predict in those words. So I don't ever have to worry about having to switch keyboards. It'll know what I'm doing. Hopefully we'll see more benefits of that over time. Now let's look at something that Apple's calling bubble animations. When I want to send something, I can actually 3D touch on that send icon, and now I have 4 options for bubble animation. There's invisible ink, which actually obscures the text that you're writing, and they have to kind of wipe their finger over to reveal it. There's gentle, which starts out small and becomes regular size. Loud, that starts big and shrinks down, and then slam, when you really want to make a point. Aside from these 4 bubble animations, we also have these full screen effects. They include this balloon animation, this ridiculously fun confetti animation, a laser show, a bunch of fireworks, as well as a shooting star. So a bunch of really cool animations. They will show up on the whole screen before just fading back into nothing after the animation's complete. So these are really cool if you really want to emphasize your message. But first I'm just going to send a regular text, hey Sebastian, check this out. And I want to send him a photo for my keynote today. So I'm going to choose one of these today. Then I'm going to go ahead and add invisible ink. This is really great if you have a photo that you don't want other people to see, or maybe you want it to be a surprise. Now it is obscured, and if you hold your finger over top of it and kind of wipe it around, you'll wipe off the invisible ink and you can see the photo beneath. Once you stop wiping it, it'll go back to being obscured so nobody else can see it. Apple made a big point about making messages personal, and one way to do that is in your own handwriting. If you simply rotate your phone to the side in landscape mode, you can now actually write straight on the screen, which I think is pretty sweet. I can go ahead and add my text, or from the ones that are pre-chosen for me, I can write it out and then go ahead and send it. Now we mentioned emojis earlier, but what's cool is if they're in a sentence, they're normal sized. However, if you send them yourself or by themselves, they're actually 3 times the size. So you notice the flag is much larger than it would be in the past, as well as the soccer ball when it's placed by itself. So again, by itself 3 times the size as regular emojis. Another new feature in messages is rich links. So if I paste a link here I want Sebastian to check out, it'll actually make it a rich link instead of just that plain ugly URL. So it gives it a lot more information than it would in the past. It also works with App Store, music, or even videos. So if I want to send him this YouTube video of this iOS 10 walkthrough that we did today, I can paste the link and it'll actually convert that into a playable video and you can play it right within the messaging application. So that covers that. That's pretty much all the new features in iOS 10's messaging app. Did we miss any? If we did, go ahead and let us know down in the comments. There are so many, I wouldn't be surprised if we did, but these are at least the main ones you need to be concerned with. If you also have any questions about this, please let us know as well. Otherwise, go ahead and subscribe for all of our coverage on Apple's newest operating systems. And until next time, this is Andrew for iDownload Blog.